geometric sequences. Problem 14 asks us to find the next two terms of the geometric sequence. In order to do that, I need to find my R value. My R value is found by taking my term 2 divided by my term 1. And then simplifying it up, so I have 108 divided by 81, which gives me a 4/3. To find my next term in the sequence, I take my last term of 144, multiply it by the 4/3, and I get 192. I then take that new term of 192, multiply it by the 4/3, and I come up with 256. So my next two terms I need are 192 and 256. Problem number 24 says find the first 5 terms of the geometric sequence described, where a sub 1 is 576, r is a negative 1/2. So I'm asked to find the 5 terms. Again, each term is found by multiplying by that r factor. So my first term is 576. I take 576 and then multiply it by a negative 1/2. And when I do that, I come up with a negative 288. Take the negative 288, multiply it by a negative 1/2, I get a 144. Multiply that by a negative 1/2, I get a negative 72. And multiply that by a negative 1/2, I get a 36. So the 5 terms I need are 576, negative 288, 144, negative 72, and 36. The next problem asks us to find a sub 7 if a sub n is equal to 12 times 1/2 raised to the n minus 1. So on this one, that a sub 7 tells me I'm looking for term 7. That's my n value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to substitute it in. I'm looking for term 7. I take 12 times 1/2 to the 7 minus 1. So that's 12 times 1/2 to the 6th, which is 12 times 1/64, which if I simplify up after I multiply, I come up with 12/64, which is 3/16. So my a sub 7 is equal to 3/16. Story problems. You got to read them a couple times, decipher them. So in this one, a 1-ton sculpture is melting so that it loses 1/5 of its weight per hour. How much of the sculpture will be left after 5 hours? And write the answer in pounds. So right there, they're telling us we have to make a switch. So my a sub 1 is equal to 1 ton, which is really 2,000 pounds. Now, it's losing 1/5 of its weight, but the problem asks how much will be left. So my r is 4/5. That's what remains. My n is not the 5 hours because they're saying what's left after 5 hours. So n is actually a 6 because I need what's left after 5 hours. So it's the start of term 6. So now I take my formula again. A sub n is equal to my a sub 1 times my r to the n minus 1. I'm looking for term 6. My term 1 is 2,000. My r is 4/5, and my n is 6, minus the 1. Substituting it in, I solve it. I'm going to take 2,000, multiply by the 4/5 to the 5th power, and when I simplify up, I come up with 655.3 pounds remaining. Write an equation for the nth term of each geometric sequence is what problem 42 is asking us for. I'm starting with 4, negative 12/36. So again, I have to find my r by taking term 2 divided by term 1, negative 12 divided by 4. So my r is a negative 3. Writing a sub n is equal to a sub 1 times the r to the n minus 1. I'm looking for a general equation, so I leave it as a sub n. A sub 1 is a 4, r is a negative 3, raise it to the n minus 1. That's it. There's nothing else to do. They just want a general equation. No simplifying up. You can't do any more. That's it. And the last one asks us to find the geometric sequence. I know I have 5 terms, the 3 blanks in the first and last term. But I have to find out what is the r. So again, I'm going to substitute into my general equation of a sub n equals a sub 1 times r to the n minus 1. A sub n is 144. A sub 1 is 9. I don't know what r is, but I do know that n is 5 minus 1. I have 144 is equal to 9 times r to the 4th. Dividing both sides by 9, I get 16 is equal to r to the 4th. Chapter 5 taught us we have to take it to the 4th root. So I'm going to take it to the 4th root. And when I take an even power to the 4th root in this case, I have a plus or minus 2. Remember, anytime you have an even index, there's 2 answers possible. So when I go and write my answers, multiplying by 2, 9 times 2 is 18, times 2 is 36, times 2 is 72. That's when r is equal to 2. When r is equal to a negative 2, then my answer would be a negative 18, 36, and negative 72.